Thanks, Vasant. Initially, I was wondering what am I doing in a tech conclave. So my entire presentation is, sensibilities, human emotions. They want that, right? Even in if you see in the US also the Amazon Go store that happened, and I was talking to some people there in the US and saying what happened. I mean, first of course it was grossly over capexed, that store. Second is saying consumers do want some amount of human touch also happening. Yeah. So I'm kind of looking at this whole thing from a consumer perspective. So I got a presentation here mostly about my experience, which will give you insights into what consumers are looking for nowadays. Yeah. So the topic I've chosen is experience is the new product. There is also a saying that says, the journey has to be as good as the destination. So you can see the improvement in airports, travel, everything. I mean, cafes. The more the tech is happening, the more emphasis is being put in terms of visual appeal, design, ergonomics, and so on. So people expectations. I kind of summarized it, saying people are looking for choice, like choice to do anything they want, anywhere, anytime. And they're looking for information. You don't, you're going to buy a product, it might look great for you. You see those stars and it is 2-star, you're going to immediately not buy it. Because you don't believe the brand anymore. You're looking at information from other customers. So insights, data, research, social proofing, that is the rating what I was talking about. It's so important. Connect, they are digital native and it is age agnostic. Even my 84-year-old mother also is on social media and she buys from Amazon. So it's not just the millennials. I think the digital native seems to be, it is the way of life now. Social media, of course, and universal access, to be access anything, anywhere, right, using technology. Along with that, you have experience, which is expected to be humanized, like I just mentioned. It is not a very transactional. You want to consider the other person being a human. And personalized experience, meaningful, memorable. People don't want to just do stuff for the sake of doing it, right? They want memorable. Why is it that so much has gone up in terms of tourism and destination weddings, all that, everything they wanted to be memorable. So how do we look at retail front end, the consumer? How do we make it memorable for them? And responsibility, big deal. It's a very, very big deal now. We may think it's not. Planet, people, inclusivity. Tech does play a lot of role. Some of the brands I speak with, and tech, they are, like IKEA and others, they are using technology to monitor carbon footprint and these things. So tech plays a very, very big role in the responsibility part. Environment expectations, of course, you've got the physical store, offline store, in-person experience, personalized service, touch and feel, very, very big deal. I still don't see where you're going to have just a store with only screens and you go and buy there and not have the physical product. That's why people are coming to physical stores anyway. That's why, people do want the touch and feel. Instant gratification, you come and, pick up what you want and you trust the brand. You always trust somebody when it's a human tendency to build relationships by in-person meetings, right? So it is very trust driven. So if I can actually go to an offline store, that's why you'll see many of the online brands. We work with many D2C brands and they are coming offline because of the trust factor. And then you have online, there's choice, personalization, transparency, fast experience, convenience driven. Great advantage. Online guys have that every single customer who buys with them, they have their details, where they live, what they buy, it's very difficult. In physical stores, in my experience in the physical store, only 15% people are willing to give their phone numbers, or now nobody gives because of data being, sold out and everybody's, you're getting all this spam stuff happening. So the expectation today is to have a blended, a blended retail where it's consultative. They're saying, don't just make me come and just buy your product. I can do that online also. What more are you going to give me when you come to the store? So it's consultative, personalized, hyper local. Be in my context. Don't sell me something which doesn't make sense to me. So the hyper-local part of it, saying in the catchment, so stores, though many brands are using technology actually to do the hyper-local, how do you merchandise? How do you look at local cultural context and bring in that hyper-local experience? And of course, memorable. So they say now, no, every store, you need to have Instagrammable moments. It's so important. I've got some examples of that. I'll show you. So based on this, I thought I could share 5 customer viewpoints. I'm not getting into technology. We got very eminent people who are actually practitioners in technology, and they develop that. And so I'm just going to look at from a customer's viewpoint, what are they looking at? So first one, be a people pleaser. Right? You're looking at the end of it, it's all emotive. Everything is on emotion. Human beings want to be happy at the end of it. You just don't want to just go there and buy something, and at the end of it is happiness, right? I have to be happy with what I'm doing. So let me tell you about, people may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel, right? That's something which really makes sense. So I'll tell you an example of what I'd been to Bahrain recently to be with my daughter, and there was a restaurant we went to, and I was just recovering from a bad throat, right? And I went to the restaurant. I said, "Can I have some warm water?" So what did you expect? A glass of warm water. So okay, beautiful interiors, and what came was this. So you see that pot? It's got slices of ginger, lemon, warm. It's warm and with honey in it. I mean, this is something that absolutely, I will never forget that experience I had. It's just a glass of water. So there's an opportunity they took and saying that, so tech, I don't know how tech plays in this, but from an emotive perspective, I think this has been a great memory that I'm sharing with you today after so many months. So pleasing people, how tech can be used. Like Zara has this. They have an app which is downloaded by their loyal customers, and there is something which pleases the loyal customers, only they can see. Like if you see there's a completely open empty window, the customer comes, and when you point their phone to that, the AR generates you can see that the latest fashion that is there. So it's like you're pleasing this person for being loyal to you. So this is one example how they use tech. Or the Wrangler store in Bangalore, a beautiful store, a lot of technology, but what kind of really pleased me, and I could see a lot of other of the customers who came in, okay, this is, they moved from being a cowboy brand to a biking brand. So they had this installation of pipes, again going back to responsibility, they're all pipes which are waste pipes, they put it together. But what was interesting was that wall that you see, that's an interactive wall. You hold your phone up to the wall, and then you have the murals actually moving. So it might look like a very gimmicky, but it makes sense to this kind of customers looking at imagery, and then they share it. So they're sharing this everywhere, and it's a very, very thing that kind of warms the heart of people who like this kind of art that's going. So that's one. Second is be a problem solver. I think that's so important, right? Tech is all about solving problems. Everything in life is about solving problems, right? Right from when we are born to until we die, we are solving problems every day for us, for each of us. Yeah. So if you break down a journey, so for problem solving, I think breaking down a journey of a customer or a person who's coming into your store is so important. So there's a saying, customers don't buy products, they buy solutions to their problems. So this is what it is. And if you look at it, the journey, first is we need to understand what are the goals, the life objectives sought in the relationship with the brand. It could be to be fashionable, to have enough time. Those could be your life objectives. Gains, benefits of the product offered by the brand. That's the gain the brand is giving us. And what are the pains, hurdles to seamless and happy experience. So when we take a journey, we kind of break it up in these customers' goals right on top. Then comes the gains, which is the brand, and then the pains. Just to give an example, if you look at this is all about building a kitchen. Simple, very complex. When you build a kitchen, you don't know what to buy and how to go about it, what happens after I order, how long will it take. So here the goal is to have an enjoyable home life for the customer. And the gain is realizing my design vision, realizing my budget, error-free installation. Right? This is the gain. I go to a brand and say, can you, when I break it down, this is what we've done a couple of brands, and say that this is what it is, the gain. What is the pain? How long will it take? How much will it cost? How do I get it done painlessly? These are pains. Technology helps. So the brand actually developed a tech saying that right from when you are doing the design to till when it's installed, and then the snagging is done, is handed over to you. I mean, what a great thing. Because when you do it, this is the biggest pain. You don't know when it's coming, what's going to happen, what's next. So tech helps actually in a very seamless journey and tracking. So each customer journey in different categories of stores, there is a pain point. It could be cashiering, it could be trying. I know brands where they have not calculated the right number of trial rooms, and then you'll end up huge pile up people waiting, getting annoyed, or the cashiering takes too long because of your internal processes. So these are pains one looks at, and Decathlon has done that beautifully. They have got different choice of you can have assisted, unassisted, app, and I've actually tried that. You can stand wherever you pick the product, scan the QR code, go into the app, pay for it, and just walk out. It generates a QR code, show it to the guy at the door, and you walk out. So it's tech can play a huge role there. Third is empowering people. People today want to be empowered. You don't tell me what to, empower me and allow me to do what I would love to do. So technology in retail is definitely not about replacing people. Though they talk about AI and other things happening, but you cannot eliminate. It's made by humans. How can you eliminate humans? I mean, it's my opinion. And if you go back to the first one, being people pleasers, machines can't be people pleasers. It is people to people. You when you walk into a store, you look into the eye of the customer and say, Vanakkam or good morning. That's a great feeling, right? You can't have a robot doing that. It's not going to click. So it's about freeing them to do what only humans can. Right? So that's what it's about. So again, in Hyderabad, when I went to the airport, I saw this cart. I went to actually charge my phone. I saw this cart. And it's a smart trolley. I said, how does this work? I scanned my boarding pass. It gives me where the gate is, and it tells me how to get to the gate. I mean, how wonderful is that? It really empowered me. I didn't have to, stress so much. I knew how long it's there. My flight is not delayed. I can sit and comfortably have a cup of coffee and go. The flight was delayed that day. And though it says on time, after some time it did say delayed. So I knew that it's fine. I have enough time. So just to give you an example, Ibo VA is a Polish online brand. They got about 100,000 SKUs and 400 plus brands. It's a multi-brand unit. How they have brought in all those elements of blended retail. So this is the store. If you see the front part of the store, you see. Front part of the store, what is it called? The fast experience. The back side of the store is what they call slow experience. So how does this work? So customers go in, they filter. See, filtering is something that can be done online only. It's very difficult to do filtering offline, right? So you got 100,000, SKUs. You got 450 brands. I go in and then I say that I want a brown brogue. I don't know which are the brands that have brown brogue, right? Even if you have 1,000 shoes, I still have to search. So I go there, I check it out, I decide what I want, and then I'm given a choice. Either I can go to the back end and pick it up from there. Of course, a lot of technology is used in terms of finding the right product and putting it into this. I can pick it up, or I can also from the tab say that, serve me, I'd like somebody to help me out. Even this works. So this is the new age, and they're like killing it, and the conversion rates are so high. And they also have a foot scanner that tells you along with that yours is broad feet, that brand's brown brand, brogue is not going to work. You go only for these brands. So conversion is going to be so high. Many times we are given the shoe to wear, we wear it and then realize, hey, this is tight. And you'll have a salesperson saying, don't worry, walk and it'll kind of open up. Customers no more saying, I want it to be comfortable right now. So this is something that they did that. Here's a quick video. Audio. foot scanner I was talking about. It's connected to your device. And you have people sitting there and browsing. Yeah, 3 minutes. Look at the conversion rates will be like through the roof. It'll be amazing. And of course, they are doing phenomenal business. So all the tech that is being invested for capex into this brand is making sense. Because they looked at the customer journey and just looked at the pain points and decided how to do that. Next is be a storyteller. Now this is amazing. I'll tell you how tech, there is a brand which has used tech for driving social media activation and also online. But for that they've used the physical space. So I'll just give you an example. Something I saw in Boston. And before that, facts tell, stories sell. Okay, this is what it is. And so I was walking in Boston, I saw this Johnny Cupcake, unordinary bakery. So I was wondering, what is this? Go further up, it says Johnny Cupcake. What did you think? I thought it's a bakery. I walk in, I go right in, I see all these cake mixing machines. You see these footprints leading you into the store. Cake, I go in, you go further in, everything, and then you have all these ovens on the wall. And I go further in, and I go in, and then I discover they have all these cold cases in which you sell cakes. They got apparel, right? All across they have apparel. So it's storytelling pushed to that extent. I'm just saying how brands are using storytelling. And if you see this, so everywhere you see the apparel is kept there. So this brand itself, and then how do you kind of sell it? I'll tell you how they do that. So this is the guy, and what he says is that tricking people since forever. He says he actually started as a prankster in school. He used to be pulled up for a prankster. He used that mindset of his of being a prankster into creating a story for his brand. So what did he do? So this is his website. So the website you see has got the same kind of vibe as what you see in the store. And the social media, extremely active. So if you look at it, he does guerrilla marketing and all this. I mean, that's a complete different subject. I happened to meet him also in one of the conferences. Amazing guy. And so this is what they did. And once you do that, you look at the kind of... so he's encouraging people to wear his products. And then again, tech. They got invested a lot in social media and their online tech to keep building this brand and keep... fortifying the story that they're telling. So it's amazing how storytelling also plays a very large role in this. Immersive technology isn't about replacing the real world, it's about enhancing the story within it. Yeah. So that's one thing. And I got this example of Lush. You all would know Lush did come to India and went off. These are handmade soap. India is not unfamiliar to handmade soap. No big deal. So they couldn't compete. They went away. But then Lush, being a UK brand, this is something I saw in London. You see, it's a very tactile store. Very tactile, very, what do you call that? Very earthy and very, you feel it's like a cafe that you go in. But when they went to Tokyo, they took the context of Tokyo. And if you look at Japanese, they are very tech, they're huge tech, consumers. And everything is on tech. And said, how do I now build a story around it, and how do I create it accessible to the store? Now, they also realize that can we do it without staff to help to take the product? How can we make it a self-discoverable store? Can we have shoppable windows in which you can shop? So this is what Lush did in Tokyo. I'll just show you that. So, okay, this is a typical. So, Bath Bombs is their soap, which is very, very popular. And if you see, it's also piled up like this. So, this is the format they were in. But they changed now because the new consumer, behavior. And this is what came. So you can see that it's completely completely self-discoverable. The shelves were made just 6 inches. You just had one product, and that product would be accessible from outside the store through the window. And they had their app, and once you have the app, you have the information of all the consumers, and even a sushi train, again to bring in the local cultural context. And people are waiting for the store to open. They were in a queue outside, and it's a different. They could actually completely crack the country by doing this. Yeah, so you can see how they got so much leverage on social media. So there's a lot of tech, invisible tech. You would not see too many screens they interact with. You hear the device of the consumers used as the device. Yeah. Last is make others' opinion count. And it says your brand isn't what you say it is what your customers say it is, right? And very simple ways of doing, highly 4.8 stars and above. Amazon books, they got so much of data, and so this is what they've done. And let's look at CNA is again a German brand. They've taken it using technology to a different level. This is my last video.
And a fashion like. At the stores, we had racks with special hangers that counted the likes given for their respective pieces on Facebook in real time. You liked the piece you enjoyed the most on the fan page, and that like instantly showed up on the hanger.
So this is what. So even if we have a bestseller rack,
helped thousands of women on the tough mission of finding the ideal outfit.
So obviously that would have much more trust factor than what. So this started coming up with many brands, many other brands we work with. They are saying to put this, QR codes or the ratings, and saying that this is a top seller in marketplace or whatever. So it helps actually to build in trust for the brand. Just to sum up, be a people pleaser, be a problem solver, empower people, be a storyteller, make others people count. Everything from the consumer's perspective. Thank you. I hand you over to the next speaker. Thank you very much.